I believe life is a succession of ever-changing seasons. And the wisest man who ever lived, King Solomon, said this. He said that to everything there is a season and there's a time for every purpose under the heavens. We have lots of stuff going on in our lives as women. We have lots of change. We have many seasons that we experience. And when you throw in a good, healthy dose of female hormones, you've got quite an exciting ride through the seasons of your life. I'm 47 years old right now, but when I was in my early and my mid-30s, I found myself in a season of really extended discontent. And the confusing thing about that was, for me, is that I had so many of the things that I'd always wanted. I had a great husband. I had a good life. I had 3 wonderful kids. I was real active in church. In fact, I was even a Bible study leader. But bottom line was, there was this nagging discontent in my life, this dissatisfaction. And I found myself becoming fairly cynical about life, about motherhood, about being a wife, and in some ways even cynical about God. I'll just admit it, I was. When I came to that point in my life, and I kind of came to the bottom of that, God did something for me that I'll never forget and that radically changed my life. He intervened, and He taught me some things about the seasons of life. You know, the Apostle Paul said this in the book of Philippians. He said this, I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances I am. And you know what God taught me? I could learn to be content as well. God taught me about the seasons of life, and He taught me the biblical principles of being content during that very discontented season of my life. And in this study, there is a season I've tried to share those principles with you. What I have learned is this: God's Word is not just any other book. God's book is alive. His Word is living. His Word is powerful, and His Word can change your life. And when you begin to dig into God's Word and you begin to take hold of the principles that are there and apply them to your life, God can radically transform your life. And God has done that in my life. You can find out more about this Bible study on this CD sampler, and I hope that you'll check it out. And I'm also going to ask you to do something. Would you just prayerfully consider using this study perhaps as an individual or even with your women's Bible study group? Girl, I don't know what season of life that you're experiencing, but here's what I do know. You can come with me into the pages of God's Word through this study, and God can transform your life. Listen, if He transformed me, He can transform you too. To everything, there is a season.